Who's there?
Dude, it's Aiden Brown! Thank you, woman in the corner. Thank you, man. Nice to meet ya. Nice, that was terrible cut. All right, thank you. How are we feeling tonight, everybody? Woo! That's what I'm talking about. I can't hear you. Woo! Thank you, guys. You know, has anybody here ever heard of the poo method?
No.
It's a method some dude recently told me on Grindr. He was like, dude, I'm doing the poo method. And when you advertise yourself as a bottom, I don't think the poo method is a really good way to slang your fucking thing. But guess what the poo method actually is? It's just you don't use shampoo.
Oh my god.
So what's worse? I'd rather just put it in a poopy cup. Okay, that was bad. Okay, anybody here ever watch Sex Take Me to the ER? Nice, you don't need to. Skip that one. I've been on Facebook a lot recently, I feel like, and it gave me a recent advertisement, and it was like, you should join this group. And I was like, for sure, man. The group name was called Gay, Bi, Straight Truckers, in parentheses. And I was like, why don't we just fucking call it Truckers? You know, like that's literally what you don't have to say anyone's sexuality, all right? You know, we can just say we ride all night long. That's pretty simple. Thank you guys. Dude, I am killing! I am killing it right now. Yeah, so I work customer service, right? And some people come in, they're like 78 years old, and they just buy cigarettes. That's pretty simple. It's nice, you know? But they're always a fucking douchebag to me. They don't even barely talk to me. But I had a dream a couple nights ago that if I was a 70-year-old and I woke up with an ass pimple, I don't think I would talk to anyone nice behind a counter either. This is the most mind-bending experience of my life. You guys ever met a man who can move his testicle like Mind Flex?
What?
You guys know what Mind Flex is? It's an old game where you used to put something on your head and it made moved balls, but there was just air blowing beneath it. A lot of straight men always are like, have you ever seen someone move their testicle? And I always say, no, but I'd love to. We're a little drunk, We're a little drunk. I think we should bring back rain sticks. I haven't seen rain sticks since I was a child, you know. I bet some people in the audience have kids, right?
Woo!
Yeah. Does any of their teachers have rain sticks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I trust that teacher. You know, because it's gonna beat the shit out of anyone. Bro. And imagine that, like, and it's just going, bro. Alright. One of my straight friends recently asked me what's the best date to go on as a first date. I told him you should just take her to a rage room. You know why I said that? It's so you can let out all your family trauma. Imagine when she throws something and she goes, nah! And then you hit something and you go, my dad hates me! You know? And you show her your true colors on the first one, you know? It's like me as a gay guy, right? My first date is mostly ass pics, cock pics, and maybe a face pic if I'm lucky. But the cool part about ass pics and cock pics is some people hate ass pics. Anyone agree you hate ass pics here? We're all big fans of ass pics. You know why? Because you can see inside the person, you know? How good of a human being they are. You ever get an uncircumcised cock photo?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're hiding. They're hiding something. Alright, guys. Alright, anyone have an uncircumcised cock in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I love this. Thank you for being the best supporter tonight.
You're welcome.
You're the best supporter. Alright. I should tell a joke about my mom, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love my mom to death. She's the sweetest person in the world, right? So her 50th birthday just happened. We went up to Black Hawk. And my mom hasn't drinking in 18 years. And I love that for her, right? Give her a round of applause. Up to Black Hawk, right? And we get pulled over on the way home. And it's not bad, you know, because it's my mom's 50th birthday. We're lucky. But my mom has 4 ounces of weed in the car. Yeah, guys, you know. The first thing she does when she rolls down the window, I probably smell like a bar. I probably smell like a walking bar, right? And they roll down the window and they look at me and they go, "Have you been drinking tonight?" And I go, "Absolutely." And my mom goes, "I haven't drinking in 18 years. The only reason you pulled me over is because I can't see." And I think that's the worst thing to tell someone when they're going to pull you over for a DUI stop is you can't see. You know, and you have 4 ounces of weed in the car. So my mom literally just said it's my 50th birthday and they let her go, right? Thank you! Thank you! Do we have a song that you guys open up with?
We do now. Hello, welcome back.
I'm Aiden Brown.
So you're another performer that I met through Vulture's open mic, and I'm so glad that I did. Are you originally from Colorado Springs, or did you move from elsewhere?
Moved from elsewhere. Okay, that was confusing. I'm so sorry.
You're good. So where you come from?
I come from Alaska, Anchorage, Alaska. That's where I was born and raised till I was like 6 or 7. And then I moved here with my mom and dad, and then my dad moved away, and then I grew up here.
Oh my gosh. So, okay, I'm going to sound really, really lame, but the only experience or knowledge I know of Alaska is the Sandra Bullock movie, The Proposal.
Hey, that's amazing. I love that. That's a great, perfect thing about it. You should also just know there's moose there.
Yeah.
That's about the
Have you ever rode one?
No, imagine riding a moose. Have you ever? Would you want to ride one?
I mean, maybe just the knuckles. But, so what did you do, like, growing up for fun, or, like, how did you spend your weekends?
Literally, in all honesty, I don't remember Alaska at all, which is the devastating part about it.
Oh.
I feel like I just don't remember that much of, like, when I was, like, young,
Mm.
which isn't too bad. I just remember, like, growing up in, like, Colorado Springs and doing, like, fun stuff. I feel like when I was a kid, I used to live in apartments all the time, so I just had apartment friends. So we would always just do, like, apartment night games, and then I became, like, 14, and then I became a stoner. And then I just smoked weed.
Just like abrupt shift.
Yeah, it was like from manhunt tag at night to smoking weed at night until 2 a.m. doing whatever I want, eating mozzarella sticks.
To who the fuck is that? What was that noise?
Yeah, who the fuck is that? You ever smoke weed with someone when they're like, when you're young and they're like, "I can't do this," and you're like, "You're fine." Once I had that experience with someone, and then they smoked a nacho cheese Dorito. Because they were like, "I have to smoke something."
Oh my god.
So they smoked a nacho cheese Dorito.
That is so absurd. I used to snort pixie sticks as a party trick.
Yeah, but that's at least a fun party trick. Like, literally folding in peer pressure and not even smoking weed, and then you smoke a Dorito. What a shame. I kind of miss that, like, those days. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of grew up, like, around, like, people just that we were all just, like, maniacs, in my opinion, which was the best way possible.
Mm.
But, like, my mom used to get prescribed so many pills, and then she would just stash them. She just never took her medication. But literally, I just remember going into my mom's medicine cabinet, and it felt like I was, like, it was bad.
It was Scarface.
Yes, literally. I was like, and the craziest part is, like, being gay when you're younger and not telling anyone, really. Everyone's like, "How is he so charismatic?" And I'm like, I have no idea. And I knew all, like, the alleged drug dealers around town. And they would always be sweet to me. And I was like, this is so nice. They can't, like, rob someone and hate crime someone, you know?
Yeah.
So it was beautiful.
I heavily neurodivergent, and I was known for bringing weird comfort items. Like my most popular one was this garden gnome that was a Bluetooth speaker, and I had a buzz cut, so I was bald, and I'd be sitting there brushing its head. And this is how the teachers, staff, and everyone knew me, I was just fucking weird. So when I would sell weed, you know those little plastic lemons that are used to keep your lemons fresh?
Yeah.
I would put weed in it, literally be holding a random lemon, take $20, hand them the lemon, and no one thought anything of it.
I used to know a girl who would put it in there was like a banana dolphin thing. It was like, it looked like a banana and it had a dolphin face, and then it had like a little stash thing. It was so sick.
High school drug deals.
Yeah.
They're the most uncanny shit.
Oh, dude, Facebook Marketplace should also never be a thing. Or what was that app, like,
Next door?
Yeah, stuff like that. What else was there? There was OfferUp. OfferUp was a thing. I remember, like, seeing people would post their glass and bongs when I was 14, 15.
Oh my
Hit them up. And then they would be like, "Meet me at this 7-Eleven. And they would literally look at me and be like, "Are you 18? And I'd be like, "Yes, sir." And then they would hand me the bong. And I would be like, "Dude, I just have fucking glass dealers all around town."
Oh
And it was just, I kind of miss those days. Like when one of your friends is like, I got weed, pulls it out of a Cliff Bar thing.
oh my god.
And you're like, girl, it's in a Cliff Bar package. And you're like, yeah.
Yeah, I think I used to help trim, so I'd always get, and like as a high schooler, I thought like this was the plug. Looking back, I was like, I got literally like last year's harvest, bottom of the fucking barrel in a coffee tin, and I thought I was the shit.
Did you take pictures of it?
Oh my,
ever?
actually even worse, that because you mentioned glass.
Mhm.
So I know this is a lot of story time, but like
Oh, I
this
love it.
never comes into conversation. But when I was 15, I used to post a lot of like smoking content because I was like edgy. There was this smoke shop in fucking Cleveland that literally sent me a shit ton of glass, and they're all like, do promo for us. So I got all these bongs and everything. Like my parents just saw this big package for me, and I grabbed it. I was like, that's for me, and it was in a cylinder. So I was like, did they think this was a dildo?
Those like monthly subscription boxes about like weed stuff, like where they would like send like bongs and stuff, and like they would like, it's like $30 a month. They would send you a bong, papers, grinders, and stuff like that.
Oh my.
I subscribed to that when I was like 15. And then literally they would just send me it. And my mom was like, why are you getting all these packages? And then I had like 17 mini bongs in my room at once, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
But they're the cutest things ever.
Did you ever like gift them to friends or anything?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I have not that much glass right now. And I have a few pieces, but I like kind of miss that. I feel like I just gifted so many away, so I hope they have great homes. You know, like I miss that piece sometimes. I see like videos on my Snapchat, because I used to take videos of myself smoking. And I was like,
we all did.
yeah, little
Definitely
edgy kids, you're like, oh, guess what I'm doing after school? Did I skip math class? Yeah, and I'm smoking weed. Oh, that's such a funny, cringe, but fun time.
I know.
Yeah.
Did you have like a piece that was your favorite, and did you have one that was like the ugliest piece that you
Yes.
got?
My favorite piece, Norma.
No, I love that name.
Yeah, I loved her too. She was just like a classic beaker bong. It was blown in like blue and white glass, so it was like frosted, and then Frozen came out, and I loved Frozen.
That's so cute.
So I was like, dude, Norma kills. And then the ugliest piece I've ever had, oof. I don't know. I feel like I've had a Minion piece before, so I feel like that's probably one of the ugliest pieces I've had.
Did it look like them, or was it like weird glass blown,
It
like
was
crooked
really
eyes?
weird, like glass blown, but it was also, there was no color to the Minion. So it was just like, it was like what, a cookie cutter, like a baking tin of a Minion.
That
It was
sounds terrifying.
It was so scary.
Just wake up and it's just staring at you.
Yeah, I used to have a scorpion in a bottle one, which was really dope. And I loved that one, but then I don't know where that one went, but that one used to freak me out too sometimes, because I would like wake up on my nightstand and just see like a huge scorpion thing, and I was like, this is freaky. Yeah, no thank
So I can
you.
throw it across the room.
Yeah, that's why
And
it
then it breaks
happened.
free.
It starts crawling on my wall, it's getting bigger. I would make it like Maleficent. I'm your controller now, Scorpion.
Go get my math teacher.
Yes.
No, so okay. Did you like watch a lot of comedy growing up? And also, who was the first comedian that you got to see live?
Alright, the first comedian I ever saw live, who was it? I've only seen a few comedians live. I've seen Theo Vaughn live, and I loved it. That was a really good one. I've seen this one girl, Jessica Kirson, she was really good live. But I haven't seen that much stand-up live, and I've seen Mark Norman live. But those were like one of my like favorites. But Mark Norman was also at Vultures. So like one of the first like couple weeks I started with comedy, there's a secret comedy show. Don't tell anyone. And then like all of them got together and freaking got Mark Norman at Vultures. And
oh my god.
it was the sickest experience. I was literally front row sitting there, and I was like, this is dope.
Matthew's gonna be so jealous. That's like one of his favorite comedians.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was so shocked, and literally everyone's like, I got you a seat. And I was like, dude, this is sick. I loved it. But growing up, no, like, I don't know, I grew up with like a single mom, and my mom, like, I just took her to her first comedy show on her 50th birthday to go see Joe Dombrowski, and that one was really fun, and I liked it. But my mom, like, can't even say sex. Like, she literally spells out, she's like, sex.
Oh,
Like, so,
that's
like,
kinda cute.
yeah, it's adorable, you know, and that's the sweetest thing ever. But, like, literally going to a comedy show where there's mainly gay comedians,
oh
and then literally all they're doing is talking about, like, grinder, hookup,
SEX.
sex, yeah, SEX. That's what they're talking about. And my mom was literally like, "Can I get the pretzel nuggets and a Diet Coke?" Because I loved her, but I was like, "There's a 2-item minimum," and she was like, "What do I get?" And I was like, "You have to get that." But I don't know. When I was a kid, I just watched like silly like cartoon animation stuff. Like growing up, I remember like King of the Hill was one of my things that like made me like fucking die laughing.
I love King of the Hill.
Same.
It took me longer to appreciate it because for some reason we could watch Family Guy and South Park, but King of the Hill was bad.
Oh, see, I couldn't watch Family Guy, which I thought was funny. Like I could, like my mom really didn't care that much, but she like hates that show.
Yeah.
She's like, no, and I'm like, I get it.
So you said that you didn't really grow up watching a lot of comedy, but did you spend a lot of time like kind of like cracking jokes amongst friends and stuff like when you were younger?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like that was like my gateway into like just being like myself. Like I grew up the heavier set kid too, so I was like, I just have to be funny. And like being funny is kind of like it gets you, it's also like that's the main thing I want to do, is just make people escape their minds. So I feel like that's what, like, whenever I try to be funny, I just get out of my mind so I can, like, just play something else, you know?
Yeah.
And then I think that's also, like, the part when I started realizing I can make people laugh all the time, I was like, this is kind of fun. I was like, I could do this, and then I started watching stand-up. I feel like I just started getting into stand-up, like, in the past, like, 2 or 3 years.
Really?
Yeah, like, I started, like, when Kill Tony became popular, like my brother would watch it, so I was like, okay, cool, yeah, I'll watch some of it. And I was like, I can do that. And then I started expanding to different comedians, and I was like, I think I like this comedy so much more. And I think that's what really was like, I think I can do this shit. And then I did it, and I was like, loved it.
So, I know you said you kind of grew up in a lot of apartments and stuff, and your mom was kind of like hush hush on a lot of the dirty talk.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel like your community that you grew up around used comedy?
I think, in all honesty, I get all my comedy from my mom, which I love because she is the most genuine, just herself. Like, I remember, like, she just tells me stories, like, she grew up as a rich kid. Like, my mom literally grew up in New York. Like, her parents owned a company, like a freaking nice purse business and stuff, and I would go visit as a kid. And then her parents kind of, like, treated her as the black sheep boys. So she was always just, like, the most lovey-dovey parent, but in the funniest way. So it was like sweet. She was like always there for me, and sometimes I'd be like, meh. But like anything she did is so funny. Like whenever I talk about it, I'm like, this girl is literally, my mom is the funniest woman in the world. So that's why I kind of just try to base it off of, I don't know, I try to just like follow what I can do and what I think is funny. And I think my mom is the one who taught me that. So I think that's why I kind of mainly, anyone's like, who's your favorite comedian? I'm like, I have no idea. I'm like, but my mom's really funny.
That's so sweet. I as a mother, I love that shit. That is so sweet. Do you have any like performance pet peeves or like performer pet peeves?
I hate when people give up on themselves on stage. I think that's one of my biggest pet peeves because all of us want to do it, but you have to break through. And I think sometimes I've seen even good comedians, I hate to say this, in the scene, they'll go up there and they feel like they're bombing, and they'll just like, you can just watch them be like, I don't give a fuck about the crowd anymore. And sometimes that's my biggest pet peeve. I'm just like, you have to, even if you're not doing well, who cares? It's like a learning experience all the time.
Yeah, you just gotta kind of keep pushing through. So I know I was looking at some of your kind of your portfolio. You've definitely played like a good grip of shows out here. Do you have a favorite venue for comedy out here?
I'm not gonna lie, I love Vultures, of course, but the coolest place I think the Black Sheep was the most fun to do because it's like an actual venue, and I like grew up going to shows there, so I was like, this one means the most to me. So I think that's my favorite venue that I've performed at. But in all honesty, anyone who gives me a spot, I kind of love it. It's just like you find so many different venues that you like.
Yeah.
Burleby's now one of my favorites because that was like introduced to me in the beginning, and everyone's like, you're gonna love it. And I walked in there and I was like, this is such a gay scene I've never been realized to. And then I was like, I think I love this place too. So I love kind of every place.
So I know you were a part of the Vultures Vixen show at Vultures. What was the experience of doing that like for you?
So that one I'm doing this Saturday. So I haven't done that one yet, but that one's like an all-girl show. So I'm kind of I'm also excited. I've done an all-girl show before, but I wasn't the host. I was just like a little special guest. It was like 6 girls and the gay guy they found in a bar, which was kind of a fun concept, and I love that. But I think this one's gonna be really fun because it's just 4 powerhouse women who all have been doing comedy for so long. And then literally, they're like little old Aiden Brown who's been in the comedy game for a year and a half, not even. Like a year and like 2 months or 3 months now, which is crazy. And they're just giving me opportunities, so I'm just like, I'll take whatever I can get. And I think that's the coolest part about the experience, because now I can just be myself and just be the man that got invited, you know?
Like it's one of those things where it's not like, my brain is fried. I will edit that out because that was rough. But so one of my favorite things that I've seen you be involved with is Tits and Giggles at Burleby.
Yeah.
How did you get involved with that? And also, what is kind of just for our audience, what is that like?
Tits and Giggles, you guys should come. No, Tits and Giggles is the best thing ever because it's literally all body positivity show. You know, it's about you being yourself, being whoever you want and stuff. The only concept is you have to wear pasties and take off your shirt. So it's like you're opening up to the crowd in that way too. You know, people are like, oh, imagine the crowd in the underwear. Imagine you on stage with your shirt off. You know, you're going to be way more uncomfortable. But then people open up so much on stage because it's a tipping show. So we throw money at them. So it's like almost like how drag shows work and stuff. You're getting tipped while you're performing too. So you can just do whatever you kind of want. People are throwing some money at you, and then you start getting like more into it. And we also the cool part about that show is we only book like a few comics for the show, but we give everybody a good amount of time. Because some shows that you get booked in around town, they're great, but you get like 5-minute slots and stuff. Usually Burleby gives you like 7 to 10, so it helps you like really grow and develop. You don't have to do that long, but like we do have the opportunity because it is a late night show. If it's late night comedy, we're already going late. You're already out at 10 p.m. Why not stay till midnight?
Yeah.
So that's like the coolest part. And also the whole crowd is kind of like, it sounds weird, but bros see the sign, Tits and Giggles, and they're like, and they come in and it's like 4 frat bros sitting in the corner, and then they just see a whole bunch of dudes sometimes with their shirts off, and they see like 2 or 3 women comics, and they're like, what is this? But it's just so funny, because then also we have like a huge LGBT crowd there, and it's just, anyone can come in and laugh, and it's also, none of us are doing anything to make you, the whole show is like, we're doing consent, we're making sure people are safe, people are having their shirts off. There's no touching at all. You have to have consent. You can be a little fun and fruity and do whatever you want on stage, but you also have to remember about the audience members. They're there to laugh at you. Don't want to touch them either. Mm-hmm. So it's like everything there is making sure every performer is safe. And I think that's like a huge part, because I think a lot of people do it, but if you have your shirt off, you gotta feel safe.
Absolutely. No, we're big on consent here too. Like sometimes I like to throw deep or like gnarly questions kind of handcrafted for certain people, especially if I know them well, where I always feel like I need to read through the questions, because you don't know what's triggering for someone, and you also can't assume what someone's comfortable with. So I feel like just throwing in something that they're not expecting isn't really fair either.
No, for sure.
So do you have any like quirks with like your writing process?
Okay. So I the funniest part I think about my writing process is I don't like have one. Like I feel like I produce a lot of content and different jokes and stuff, and I try way too many, I think, sometimes. But I'm just the person, like, my writing style is, if I think something's funny, I'll write it down, and then I can look back on it later. And sometimes I feel like some people are always like, I have to write a new joke. And if you grab a piece of paper and your pen, and you're like, I have to be funny, I don't think you're gonna be that funny sometimes, which sucks. So I keep my concepts, and I'll be like, let me rewrite this concept and see if I can do it better. And then I try to do it on stage. But a lot of my writing process, I feel like, goes on to be on the open mics and the stage, because when you're at a show, people have paid and come in to laugh. At an open mic, you can literally just be your stupid, quirky self and do whatever you freaking want. And people, if they love you, they love you. You know, and I think that's my writing process almost on like the stage. I'm like, I find out what works funny, and then I can just write it down in my little silly notebook, and then I can just produce it later on stage. And I think that's my main writing process, which I think some people would say is not the best, but I love it.
Oh shoot, I think it's whatever works for you. So when you started getting involved in comedy, did you like automatically be like, I'm gonna start looking for what's funny to me all the time? Or did it take time for you to kind of develop like discipline to be like, I need to pursue this more and more consistently?
For sure. In all honesty, like, I don't know, because I still feel like I'm so new and stuff in the comedy scene. I didn't like ever come out to anybody as like a gay person for like maybe till I did comedy. Like like I told a lot of like my close friends and stuff, but like I was never like out too much. And I was like, this is not gonna be for me. And then I remember like waking up one day because I just did and someone told me to, and then I went to one and I had the open mic experience and I did not do myself on stage, but everyone was like, you're doing great, you should come back. And I was like, for sure. And then I like came back and I was like, I'm gonna be myself on stage. And then I kind of just started doing my little gay stuff on stage. And I was like, I think I'm off topic on the question. But
no, you're good.
But I think that's what made me like realize that I feel so different on stage sometimes, and I love it. Because also there's not very much queer comics out here, which we need more of. So please, if anyone's ever watching this and wants to do comedy and they're queer, do it. Because literally, it's also one of the best things, because you can be yourself and show people your side of comedy. A lot of people hate a certain type of comedy, and you can watch it. But if you like, I have had men in cowboy hats who are like 55 years old sitting in the front row, and I made a grinder joke to them and I made them laugh. And I'm like, that is crazy to me. Because what 55-year-old with a cowboy hat is going to laugh at my grinder joke? And they did. So I think...
Maybe they're on.
I know. And I think sometimes whenever I do that, I can tell sometimes I'll like start off and be like, I saw who was on Grindr in here, and you can see some people's faces like, yeah. And I'm like, I knew it. I'm like,
you just told on yourself.
Yeah, I'm like, you just got yourself, dude. But I love it. It's so funny. Because also they don't expect it. I think I dress the way I dress because I love showing whatever I can. Because I'm like, sometimes you gotta be fun and then casual. But like when I'm on stage, I feel like I come up with the kookiest outfits sometimes, and people are like, who is this guy? And then I just start talking about me being gay, and people are like, this makes sense. And I'm like, I love that, because you can just connect them immediately.
So I know you said that like you just kind of were like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna show up one day. You were kind of testing the waters with that. Was there someone involved with that decision of you deciding to actually get up on a stage?
Yeah, 100%. Literally like a month before, I went camping with my best friends in New Mexico. Leah and Taylor, love you guys. And I was like, I kind of want to do stand-up. And they're like, you should do it. And I told them about it, and then I went to work. And my bestie, Hazel, love her, miss her. But freaking, she literally was like, hey dude, I found 3 open mics in town, go to one of them. So I was like, okay, cool. And then I looked one up, and it was right across the street. It was at Looney's Comedy Corner. It was on a Monday. I walk over there, it's closed. And I was like, okay. And then outside on the door, it was like, we moved it to Wednesday. And I was like, perfect, I'll do it Wednesday. And then I remember waking up that day and being like so scared. I was like, do I do this? And she was like, if you don't do it, I'm gonna be so upset. And I was like, okay, for sure. And then I literally did it, and then came back, and she was like, how was it? And then literally ever since then, I was like literally in the scene, and she was like, dude, I told you you'd be good at it. And I was like, thank you so much. Cause like that was kind of the push I needed. You know, you need some friends behind your back sometimes to be like, who fucking cares, just be yourself. And you're like, I gotcha.
Absolutely. Do you feel like, so I know that there's like a lot of like mentors in music, there's like drag parents in like the drag scene. Do you feel like there's kind of like mentors or like community that comes with being a comedian?
Yeah, I think there is a community that comes with being a comedian, because the best part about being a comedian, in my opinion, is the hang. Because I don't know, because I only see a lot of the musicians at Vultures, right? Sometimes people have kids, obviously. Some people have to go home and stuff. but some people go away. I feel like the comics, a lot of them stay and hang. So I feel like that's the best part of the community. But of course, when we hang, we can butt heads. But sometimes I feel like that's the best part because we're all comedians. So no one's ever butting heads. Like, you shouldn't ever think of it as a way that someone like attacking you. We're all making jokes, you know?
Yeah.
So I think some people in the community have their different cliques and their people that they like listen to and their mentors. But in all honesty, I think the best mentor is going to open mics and listening to every fucking comic if you can.
Yeah.
Because then you just get to watch them on stage develop and you're like, that's a cool thing. Because you can get advice from any comic in the Springs and we love everyone. But I always take it for like a grain of salt sometimes because I'm like, I'm developing who I want to be sometimes on stage. And I feel like some people like are like, you can kill it this way and this way. And you're like, well, right now my mind's not working like that. So I have to build it how I'm building. And I think that's the best way to take like the mentorship because I've not like been under anyone's wing besides Macy. I think Macy is the house of Tits and Giggles. She's the mother. And I think that was the best thing because I think when she was like only did a woman, it was like all women. And she was like, she's there for the theys, the gays, and the she's, the gays, and days. Yeah, I fucked that up. But she does it for that. And I think that was like the one thing that's why I love Tits and Giggles so much, bringing it back up, is because literally Macy saw me perform and then put me on 3 of those showcases back to back to back. And she was like, I believe in you, you've got this. And I was like, hell yeah. And sometimes those were my best sets. So I feel like she's like my little mother, but I feel like sometimes in this community, I'm not gonna lie, we're all like brothers and sisters, but it's also like sometimes you have to remember when we go to open mics, in my opinion, we're like, it's almost like you're clocking in for a shift. Like vultures can take 5 hours. It's almost like we're co-workers at that point, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like sometimes people get like, they hear someone's joke for the same time, like 9 times in a week, and they're like, God, I'm over this guy. And you're like, no, they're cool, bro, they're cool. And you're like, you just have to hang with people and you'll understand them better.
Yeah. No, so I'm kind of curious, do you, like, when you have, like, a gig set up, do you have any, like, pre-show rituals or, like, ways that you like to get prepared?
In all honesty, shower. Jam out to music in the shower. I think that's my main thing, but a lot of times it kind of sucks because I do work 12-hour shifts on the weekends from Thursday to, like, Sunday pretty much. And all the shows are always on the weekends, so most of the time I'm at work, and then I go on my breaks to the show, or I have to like get my manager to cover. So I'm working, so like even on Vultures Vixens this week, I'm working until like 8 p.m. and the show starts at 8:30, and then I'm going. So yeah, I know. So sometimes I'm like, I don't even know, I just like get myself hyped, listen to some music if I can on the way to the venue, and then just I'm like, yeah, have fun, kill it. Also talking to the people beforehand, I think that's a great ritual because like if you can talk to some comedians beforehand, you're already loosened up, you know?
Yeah.
And I think some people are like so focused in their writing and you're like, dude, just talk to us and you'll have a good time.
Yeah, I feel like just like as someone that like does music sometimes and given like not great music at that I feel like the best way for me personally to get comfortable with a show or something is I try to meet as many people in the crowd so that when I get on the stage, I feel like I'm performing for friends.
For sure, yeah. Also, I that's huge because I feel like I bring a lot of people to shows sometimes. Like I'm like, if I have a show, I literally send it to everyone who I have on Facebook and like Instagram. I'm like, you should come to this, you should come to this, you should come to this. And then I can like bring some people, and I think that makes it better too because I get there and people are like, Aiden, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to perform now.
You're like, this is for you.
Yeah, this is for you guys.
So, okay, on the flip side of that, if you've ever had like maybe like a really rough set, like a really rough night, do you have like a way to kind of cope with that? Because I feel like sometimes people can kind of fuck with their own head if things don't go ideally.
Yeah, 100%. Watch Pitch Perfect. I think, yeah, I don't know. Whenever I have bad sets, I'm not gonna lie, I literally will be like, the hang after will make it better. So I either like try to hang out with people and kind of just like forget about what happened on stage, you know? Because I feel like the worst thing you can do sometimes when like you bomb is just get so angry And like some people, we all have emotions, but like you can tell they're not like showing they're like angry about that. But like all of us are sometimes, we get off stage and we immediately go, that sucked. And people literally go up to you and they go, that was amazing. And you're like, be honest with me. Like, please be honest with me. And I think some people get so, like, they don't want to hear the feedback, so they just, like, run away from it. And they'll be like, I'm leaving right now. Have a great night, guys. Bye.
Yeah.
And I feel like that could be, like, the worst thing you could do. Because if you talk to somebody about your set, they'll give you a pointer. Like, they'll give you, like, you weren't bad here, so work on that, you know? And I think a lot of people say record your sets, and I'm guilty of it. I don't. I don't record my sets at all, but a lot of people literally will be like, if I bomb a night, they'll be like, I'm driving home and I'm listening to my set and what I did wrong. And I've heard that and I was like, that sounds really beneficial, but I hate my voice. You know, so I'm like, I don't know if I want to be driving home while I'm upset, listening to my voice. Like, it just does not sound beautiful to me. It just sounds like I'd be more upset. But I think, I don't know, do I have a boogie?
Little shiny, little bit.
A little shiny?
Yeah.
Sorry guys, little shiny's here. But I don't know. I think you just have to let yourself have bad sets. I think that's my best thing I can tell people. There's nothing you can really do after a bad set besides get yourself out of your freaking mind about a joke that didn't land well because you thought it was funny at 7 a.m.
Yeah. So I know another big hurdle, particularly for comedians, is hecklers. I know I'm personally guilty of laughing way too fucking much just because I find everything hilarious. And sometimes when comedians ask questions, I might shout something that I think works with it, but I might derail someone on accident. So I know I'm kind of guilty of it a little bit, but I know there's like different ranges of heckling. How do you kind of deal with different types of hecklers?
Have fun with it because in all honesty, you're the type of heckler that you're there to support and have fun. And you're like, oopsie, did I do something wrong? Like, you didn't mean to. And it just like, that to me isn't even a heckle. You're just having fun. You're playing along. You're like, let me give you some support, you know? When it comes to a heckler, you just have to make them shut up. Sorry. But like, you have to, you can be nice about it, you can do stuff, and I am guilty. I will say of one time when I got heckled, I was not very nice, and I was like, and I remember getting off stage and I was like, fuck, I wish I didn't say that shit. But it happens to the best of us. But sometimes if you can just deal with the heckler and because the audience, once the person starts talking, if it's like a bad heckle, everyone's against that person, exactly. Which sounds messed up, but the audience is like, now I'm on your side, performer, I got you. So if you can just have fun and like mess around and not ruin that person's night, you killed it. But that's what I was going, like when I felt bad because I felt like I ruined one person's night once because he heckled me and I told him he was balding. And because he was around like 2 or 3 women, and then afterwards the 2 women were like, we're going to Taco Bell, and the other girl stayed, and I felt so bad.
Oh my god.
And I was like, I remember that, and I just still think about that. I'm like, maybe I should never call someone out for an insecurity that they can't fix, you know? So that's the only bad time. I was like, fuck.
I have seen some crazy ass hecklers though. Like,
yeah.
Like non-stop set after set after set.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Getting in people's faces.
And the worst part about it is like, the heckler has to make a scene for it to be like reasonable to kick him out. Mm-hmm. Which sometimes sucks because like I've gone to bars and people are like, watch out for this guy. And you're like, what does this mean? You're like, no, I'm scared. And they're like, no, he just got divorced, he's been drinking a lot of whiskey and he's talking. And you're like, for sure, man. And then they'll like start talking during everyone's set, and then fucking people will go up there and be like, everyone needs to be quiet, we're talking now. And then they start talking louder, and you're just like, if you can make fun of him, but be nice about it.
I'm not gonna lie, the bravest heckler I've ever seen was this chick at Vultures. Oh my god.
I think I might, wait, which one?
It's the one that Guy got on their video.
Yes.
Oh my god. Yeah. She was brave as hell because the way that she was gutted, literally person after person after person, I was like, my feelings would have been hurt On the first set, what
And
are you
then she
doing?
stood up during someone's set and like got up to the stage and was like talking to him, and it was exactly the one I thought of too. I was like, that one was a crazy one.
She was an icon.
Because
For
yeah, she
Equins
was.
everywhere.
But I think the funniest part is, I'm not gonna lie, because you said it was after everyone and everyone. I was coming up on the list and I was like, oh god. I was like, because once you watch it happen to 4 people, you're like, I don't want to have to deal with this woman too now.
No, that was something.
That was
else.
something. That was crazy.
I want to blame drugs, but I don't know if I can on that one. So, what is the longest show that you've performed, and what were some of the pros and cons with a longer set?
The longest set I've ever done is probably like 15 minutes. So it's not like the longest like set. But in all honesty, the pro about it is because like I didn't realize how fast it went. Like I think that was the best thing that I learned from the show is like I was doing 15 minutes and then I got lighted and I was like, what the heck? And then I looked down at my phone and it was like 16 minutes and and I was like, whoa, I was like, heck yeah. So I was like, I think that was like a dope pro to learn, but I don't know. Sometimes I love the little sets, like the little 5 to 7 minute sets, because you can be zappy. But the longer sets, you can be so much more intimate with crowds. It's like when you get to play 2 songs, right? If you could play 5 or 6, or like your little EP or album, or anything, you could like show the crowd who you are. So I think that was my favorite part about it. Doing like a 30-minute set though sounds so intriguing to me because I feel like I could do it well because I think I can keep the crowd entertained. But 30 minutes, doesn't that sound so long? Yeah, like it sounds so long.
But I feel like there's a lot of room for like world building though, which could be really fun.
For sure, and I think that's I think I'm pretty good at like working on stage. So I think the longer I go on stage, the more I get to work on stage and see how I can open up to crowds. Cause like I also did this show at Manitou Comedy Festival for this girl Jackie Cation, and she's like dope. She like travels around, does comedy, and then she put me on a guesty show for her, and I was like, hell yeah. And it was like in a theater arena, like not arena, but it was like in a theater where there was like rows and rows and rows of like theaters, and I was like, whoa, performing in a theater is fun. So I was like, and that one was like, they gave me like 5 minutes, but I was like, I wish I could have done more because it was like, it felt like it was like so many people in the back, so many people in the front, you know, you're like, wow, this is sick.
Was that the biggest crowd that you've performed in front of?
No, I'm not gonna lie, the biggest crowd I ever performed in front of was, I just started like 5 months into it, and then I won a comedy competition at Sarah's Place in the back from like the high comedy guys when they were a thing, and they were like, we put everyone on the show if you like win or anything, and one of them put me on the show, and then I went there and I thought it was literally gonna be like nobody, because it was like one of my first shows besides Tits and Giggles, and Tits and Giggles brings like 50 people sometimes, so it's nice, but I like went and it was like a full bar that was like sold out, and I was like, oh, this is a lot of people, it feels like. And I think that was probably like my most people because it felt like 65 to 70 people, and I was like, that's a lot of people in a room to listen to you do comedy. So that one was kind of fun too.
What do you think was like the best and the worst part about having so many people?
Okay, so also the bar that I was at it's not a bad bar, you know, we don't say anything bad about bars, but they were very everything on the wall just had very like police heavy stuff, and at that time I know and at that time I had a joke that says we don't dial 911, and I was like, I'll just do this joke, you know. So like I was like, I shouldn't be doing some of my jokes in front of these people, I thought, but it worked out because like I also like literally was like, is there any gay people in the audience? 2 people raised their hand, and I was like, who owns a gun? And then like 70 people raised their hand, and I was like, perfect. So it's like a pro and con of like that way, because you're like, well, at least you know what the crowd is like. But it was like, I was like, it was a fine time. I didn't have a bad time, but when you're working with so many people, it's like you just don't know where their mind's at. So I'm just like, how can I make everyone think this is funny? But you know, if you're genuinely yourself, I think you can do it. So that was good. But I was like, when I started off, I was like, literally like, I was like, I'm gonna start shaking. And I was like, I don't think these people are gonna like my jokes at all. And then they started opening up, and I'm like, oh yeah, they have to remember they're at a comedy show, that we're joking around.
Yeah.
But I was like, dun, 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 dun.
No, oh my gosh, I feel like that whole setup would have made me super nervous too.
Yeah, and I brought my best friend and his girlfriend at the time, and literally they like walk in, they're like, what is this? And then they're like, we got you front row seats, you guys can sit right here. And then they're like looking around, and they like look at me, and they're like, bring me up in like 10 minutes. And then I was like, hell yeah, and it was a good time. But they're like, what the fuck is this place? And I was like, dude, I have no idea, I've never been here. It's on the way north of town. And I was like, it's a nice place, but it's crazy.
Oh my gosh. So, okay, I do have like a very genuine question, because I feel like a lot of people have an opinion on this that seems pretty universal, but I'm not sure, because I'm not a comedian. I've never even dabbled in the world really. But do you believe that every comedian needs improv skills, or do you think some can like genuinely get by without them?
So I've never done improv, and I really want to. So I think it benefits yourself for sure doing improv, because I've met so many people who've done improv then go up to stand-up comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So it like helps them like open up, because you know in improv you literally are just doing what yes and just fucking doing what I don't even know that much because I've never done it. But I think it's like a really good way to make your mind expand and like go on stage and kind of open up, because in our new generation now, comedy, a lot of it that you see online is literally just crowd work. Which sometimes is great, and sometimes I'm like, but I do like seeing actual people's sets and stuff. But like nowadays, crowd work kills. So if you're an improver and you can go up there and just make stuff great, you can kill. And I think sometimes like people will tell me when I get off stage, they're like, you just like go up there and riff and have fun with it. And they're like, you just go off whatever you can do. And then they will be like, have you ever done improv? And I'm like, never. And they're like, you would be pretty good at improv. And I'm like, I don't know where to start.
I've been curious. I feel like just the theater kid in me kind of wants to do a class just for fun.
No, for sure. Like it's
also like with like music too. It's like there's some room for crowd work, but I tend to shy away from it.
No, for sure.
I'm like head down and try to just get off stage as quick as possible.
You're like, let me perform.
So who do you think's been like one of your biggest supports through your journey in comedy?
Probably my mom. I'll just, because like I was saying earlier, my mom loves to smother, and I love her about that. But like literally like every day or every Sunday there used to be 2 open mics, and she would text me every like Sunday and be like, break the leg tonight. And like literally she'll text me that every night she knows I have comedy. So I think that's probably my biggest support from my mom, actually, which is nice.
I think that's really sweet. I think that's really cool that you're able to have like that relationship with her, and that she supports what you do as well. Because you were kind of saying that you feel like comedy is kind of like a window into like the real you.
For sure.
You know, so having her like fully embrace that, I feel like is just like such a magical thing.
No, yeah, like literally I came out to my mom at a Counting Crows show. So the fact that was like 2 years ago, and then now I'm doing comedy is so funny, because I wouldn't have ever expected it, and I don't think she would. And like we said, the SEX, and now she literally just hears me do jokes, and I'm like, oh no, my mom knows I'm on Grindr now.
Oh my god, does she ever blush?
yeah. And
Blush
sometimes
and pearls.
the first time she ever came to a show, she literally asked me, she goes, so when do I laugh? And I was like, you laugh whenever you think something's funny. And she was like, okay, for sure. And then it was funny, people would laugh, and she'd be like, ha! And I just like look around, and you're like, Mom, you're like, you're funny, you're killing it right now, but it's just like, if you're trying to, like, it was just so funny, because she's like, when do I laugh? And you're like, just laugh whenever you think it's funny, dude.
Like a NASCAR pit crew, she's just fucking ready.
Yeah, she's just like, when do I hear the laughs? Gotcha. And you're like, all right, dude.
That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate your time and coming out and hanging out with us today. If you care to tell the people where they can find you or any upcoming events.
Instagram, Aiden Drown, AIBEN _DROWN, because I'm dyslexic, so that's how I used to spell it. Find me there. And then Tits and Giggles is December 14th, and then there will be another one in February, and I'm doing Vultures Vixens. That will probably be after the show. And then also I just got hit up to do Black Sheep on the 28th. So I'll be at the Black Sheep again.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Of course. I think cocaine is probably the gayest drug there is. The reason I think that is because 2 men can go into the bathroom and sniff some stuff,
But if I go into the bathroom and sniff some stuff with a man and I don't have cocaine, they call me really mean names. One of my favorite intimidation methods to a man is I really like sitting down while I pee. Because they can hear it, but it's always the best when you do it in the urinal. I think I'd be really bad at an orgy because I think I would ask people if they're in line. Thank you. I don't like when men say they don't like the color pink.
Period.
Because I love the color pink. It's almost like whenever I ask a man, how's your day? And they go, I'm straight. And you go, are you sure? You just came out to me. Just walks off stage after that.